Morrison here from my blog Direbane. I thought I'd do a little interlude while I'm trying to clear up some technical difficulties that I've had with my volume. So I'm trying to tape my audio and video separately. Got myself a little digital microphone and I'm still doing the video through my phone. So by way of a little test video, I thought I'd show a little of my personal Arduin artifacts. I kind of misled you all when I said I only cared about magic items and bug people. I actually did start a campaign in Arduin around 1988. We were going to do a new campaign and rotate dungeon masters, and I was the initial dungeon master and had set up the idea of this rotating campaign. And my expectation was that it was all going to take place in Arduin. And so what I did is, the original books for Arduin, the Arduin Grimoire had a map that Dave Hargrave provided, and it was completely unlabeled. So here's the map. And in addition, in Welcome to Skull Tower, there is a list of inns and towns. So we have here the major cities, smaller cities, and the inns that are there. And in Runes of Doom, the third book of the original trilogy, it listed recorded areas of treasure and death within the Arduin boundaries. So these are a list of all the dungeons and some geographic locations of where the dungeons are, and a little description, little comments about each one. So what I did is I took the map that was in the Arduin Grimoire, the first one, and you can see, or maybe you can, that this area here is kind of artificially square, and that's because it matches up with this area here. Unfortunately, I had to guess what all these big towns were, and so where I put them didn't end up being exactly where Dave Hargrave located his cities, but I had them there, and then I used the in list to put other cities that I knew, and I took things out of history. The mountains, so all these place names are genuine Arduin campaign place names that I had added. And then I went through and added dungeons. So for instance, War of the Sunken is up here in the north. You can't see it. So this is the general populated area, what you can see. I'll post a whole picture of the map on my website, so you can see what the whole map looks like. Then Judges Guild put out this thing called a campaign hexagon system, and it allowed you to take individual hex and subdivide it into smaller hexes, and then also you could take a hex in there and subdivide it into even smaller hexes. So what I did, I was using, I believe these are 10 miles per hex is the scale I was using. So I went through, and my intention was to start the campaign off in the north and lead them down into it was a first level campaign, so I wanted to lead them down ultimately into Dead Watch Mountain, which was a dragon lair. So I had started out with, I actually did the White Rock Inn, was where I started out, which is way down here on my map. I don't know why I started out, and maybe because I wasn't sure exactly where it was going to be, but that's what I started with. And then everything else I built around the idea of the party starting out in the north and winding their way down south till they were high enough level to get to that Dead Watch Mountain. This is Dead Watch Mountain. These are overlapping dungeon corridors, and the maps are here. There was a secret staircase that led them up into the dungeon, and then these are all the individual maps. And then this is my random encounter tables, and then the actual encounters inside the dungeon. So maybe one day I'll put this thing together and post it. At any rate, that was the goal, was Dead Watch Mountain. They were starting out up in a town called Mark House off the Silver Sea. Again, that's up in the North Sea. You can't see it on the map here, but if you look on the one when I post it, you'll see it. And then this would be the map of the inn there, the Blue Bolt Inn, which again I would have got from Welcome to Skull Tower list of notable inns in Arduin cities. And the party moved eastward to go around this big body of water called Moon Water. So on the way east there is Elfin Turf, which is a little elven village on the Silver Sea. And then as they moved on into around the Chaladoth Mountains, they ended up down at a place called Border Town. Actually, it looks like they crossed the sea, so they were able to cross Moonwater and ended up at a place called Border Town. And then what I believe happened is that instead of going south like I anticipated to this dragon lair that they had heard about, for some reason they decided to go north, and I have no idea why. So I ended up having to do Adweir the Sunken, which is also known as Moss Windows or Moss Mouth, and that's located in the Black Bog, so it's actually up and further to the east. And then these are the maps for Arduin the Sunken, which is a dungeon inside Black Bog. And so what happened was, I did my three, we each gave each other 3 sessions to run our campaigns. And I got through my 3. It looks like the party was, if I recall, was at least had made some forays into this Adweir the Sunken dungeon. And then a friend, Dr. John PhD, took over and decided to remove the entire party to a completely different land. and so which caught me by surprise, but anyway, it turned into one of our most long-running and enjoyable campaigns, the blipping campaign, and that became the tradition that each time a new dungeon master, or sometimes often actually we had co-DMs, that would go to an entirely new locale. We were kind of unstuck. It was kind of a Kurt Vonnegut Slaughterhouse 5 type of deal, except that we had agency. We weren't stuck to repeat what we had done because we'd never been there. So at any rate, I hope this works. I'm going to go home and try to edit this out, and if everything works well and the volume looks good, I'll go ahead and record the audio separately from the video, and hope to follow up this weekend with the section on Arduin geography and hopefully touch on the Great Worm Road. So thank you very much. I'll catch up with you again.